Imagine you just spent the day out with your family. It's a warm summer day, you went to the park, you had a big lunch, walked some trails, took some pictures. For once, not a single argument, and everyone is completely happy. A rare end to a rare day. Then you go home, and when you get there, your basement flooded. It turns out a pipe burst at your neighbor's house, and the runoff ended up at your house. You scramble to get anything valuable off the floor, and you take everything you can outside. You bring in a shop vac, suck up all the standing water. All in all, it takes you 5 or 6 hours to clean up the mess, enough that you can put everything outside back in the basement before nightfall. An inconvenience, to say the least. Things like this happen, and we're forced to stop any plans we may have had, and we take care of it. But I'm willing to bet that before you got home to discover that mess in the basement, you already had the rest of the night planned in your head. Make dinner, watch a little TV, clean up, get things ready for the next day, get the kids to bed, get a shower, and go to sleep yourself. If I were to ask you after you got home, do you have 5 or 6 hours to write a book, or 5 or 6 hours to go to the gym? How about 5 or 6 hours to clean out the garage? You would most likely tell me, no, there's no time to do any of that. Yet, when the basement floods, like magic, out of thin air, 5 or 6 hours in your day has appeared, and it works its way into the plan. And make no mistake, you didn't suddenly have 30 hours in a day. You were working with the same time you always had. How does time you didn't have become time that you now do? The flooded basement isn't something everyone will experience, but it doesn't have to be just that. It's anything that forces our time and attention. A flat tire, or a broken down car, an illness in the family. We've all experienced the unexpected. When we do, we all find time for it. To me, that means time is always available, but time spent is by our choosing. You can try to gain more time by getting up early or staying up later, maybe cutting how much TV you watch, change your commute, eat your meals faster, but in the end, you only end up with a fraction of the time you're trying to carve out. The reason you found 6 hours to clean the flood in the basement is because it became a priority. You very well could have said, I don't have time for this, and went on about your day as usual. Maybe you'll find time tomorrow. But guess what? You've already planned that too. So would you leave this basement flooded forever, hoping that you eventually have the time to clean it up? No. Because by the time you find time, the foundation is destroyed, the house gets condemned, and now you have to find time to buy a new house. Meanwhile, your family's living on the streets. The 6 hours didn't just appear. The task of cleaning the basement became a priority. People who want to go to the gym but don't, it's not for lack of time. You don't want to. It's not a priority. If you were told that you would be paid $400 every time you go to the gym, I'm sure you'd figure out a way to fit it into your schedule. This applies to anything in life. Think about something you've wanted to do for a long time, but you've told yourself it will never happen because you don't have time. Now think of that thing in the context that if you don't do it, you could very well die. Pretty good motivator. If it were life and death, you'd probably make it happen. Everything you're doing is a priority. Everything you're not doing isn't. So if you complain that you never hang out with friends because you never have time, it's not for a lack of time. You've deemed hanging out with friends no longer a priority. If you're upset you don't spend time on your hobbies, that's because everything else you're doing has become more important. Try this. The next time you feel the need to say, I don't have the time for that, replace it with, it's not a priority. If it makes you feel bad saying it, then maybe you need to adjust your priorities. We all think we're invincible, but our time is limited. Our most important commodity. It's something you spend and never get back. When you look back at your time on this planet, you'll want to see that time was well spent. Spend it on things that matter. On things that you can be proud of. If you're prioritizing the wrong things, don't worry, you can change it. But remember, when you're forced, you can find time for anything. Not only the bad stuff, but for the best stuff as well.